Thank you for waiting for me. I didn't realize y'all were waiting.
But wait.
Yep. Hello, everyone watching this on YouTube. This is the Highwire Improv All Community Meeting on January 12th, 2021. As always with these, we are going to go through kind of the same agenda each month, roughly, unless there is anything particularly new or different or interesting. We'll update on core values, committees. We've got a special section this month for 2020 financial information, talk about numbers, y'all, and then have always an opportunity for people to do Q&A when relevant. As a reminder, our core values are transparency, safety, community, and action, and we try and keep these in mind in everything that we do across all of our committees, our shows, our interactions, and meetings like this one, which are transparent for the community so that people can take action safely. So I'll pass it over to Brian for the first couple.
Okay, excuse me, thanks, Barry. Programming, we are really lucky to have all the great teams we do, and season 1 has been a huge success in many, many ways. We continue to have really great audiences, really great shows, great engagement, and the creativity just continues to amaze us. The screenshot you see here is from the Sleigh Bells, I remember what it was called, Sleigh Bells table read of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode, which was produced by Rashid Green and had a fantastic cast of very familiar faces as well as some new people, which is always wonderful to see. So yeah, it's been great to see so many people getting involved. And speaking of people getting involved, season 2 submissions are in. We have a couple tiny details we're waiting on, but we're going to be publishing the schedule soon, hopefully by beginning of next week. And the biggest and most important and most exciting piece of news is that on Friday nights in season 2, every show will feature an all-black cast through a partnership with us at Highwire, the Black Improv Alliance, and the Maryland Improv Collective. So thanks to Blewett, Mike, and Stephanie Ray at BIA to work with us on this. The details of teams are still coming together, but it's just going to be a fantastic partnership that will give daytime to great performers and hopefully also teach people about some of the great Black performers that are out there across the world. BIA has connections all across the globe, so we are really excited to see that, and hopefully we'll be announcing the details of that soon. But season 2 submissions, most season 1 teams are back. Very few people are not able to continue, and the kinds of teams that are coming in new, again, the creativity. There's a food-based improv show. There's some more table reads. There's another parade planned. There's all kinds of stuff. So look forward to that schedule being released soon to show you what you'll have to do between February 1st and April 24th.
Yeah.
And I will jump on marketing too. The marketing committee has been very busy. We've been meeting regularly, and we're just continuing to try and find ways to grow our audiences organically without, having to commit money to lots of these things. Our social media engagement and posts continue to grow. We've got great representation on Facebook, Instagram. Kristen does a great job with the stories to keep people up to date of what's, the short-term life of those are great, because then people will be able to see what's happening that day. As we get so many events in our various feeds that's been fantastic. And the engagement on our workshops have been fantastic, thanks to both people pushing them and some of the instructors paying to boost them to get word out about our workshops. So we're gonna look at some new strategies in season 2. Maybe it's doing some short interviews, video clips. Those have done well when we've had time to do them. So if you want to help out, we're always looking for help. And we are finally going to realize our dream of plastering the Highwire logo on some part of your body or some implement in your house. We will have merchandise soon. We are finalizing those plans. So be prepared to have Highwire wherever you go.
Be prepared.
Yes.
Cool. So this is me. Yeah, so education. Things are going good. We're making really good progress. We've had, I guess, 2 weekends of workshops now. Attendance so far has been on the lower side, but it's the new year. So we're hoping that as we sort of like get going further into the year, we're able to market each one a little longer that will pick up. We do have a couple that are later that are like one is already sold out, and so we're anticipating more. And we're booking more. I think I have all of February booked now, and I'm working on March. And with our partnership with the Black Improv Alliance, for those weekends, we're going to have a special workshop the first Saturday of February, March, and April with Velvet Wells of Toronto. And he's going to do some musical improv workshops for us. In addition to, he's working on developing another workshop for us for later as well. And I've been talking to, I really cast like a wide net of instructors for workshops, and we have a couple people now who are developing stuff specifically for us, which is very exciting. Let's see. Yeah, we've updated the payment model to 60/40 to the instructor based on some feedback that I've gotten from the larger improv community, not just like the Baltimore improv community. And yes, our core curriculum is in progress. We would like to launch it soon. It's gonna hopefully, it looks like it's gonna be able to launch sooner than I had originally anticipated. I originally like in my head had like August, and it looks like we're gonna be able to do it sooner than that. But I don't want to like make any hard promises yet. But yeah, so we're getting it written, and then it's gonna go through like a vetting process, for anti-racism and inclusion. So it should be good.
Awesome.
I think that is it.
Nice.
Right.
So in terms of some of the operations and anti-racism work we've been doing, we've been working on a few specific things for January, especially with our focus on workshops and education. We've begun drafting updated standards for instructor participation and what we'll expect them to have done in setting up a safe and inclusive environment for their classes. We're working with the community internally, but also a third-party service to improve our reporting processes for any complaints or issues that are raised, and are looking to launch with a third-party software by the end of the month, which is really exciting. And then we've been scheduling and planning our next rounds of kind of organizational and community training in anti-racism and anti-oppression, working with groups like Holla Back, as well as the Different Women Project out of the UK, who we're consulting with, and utilizing those organizations as well as our own internal networks to figure out what a longer term cadence for training can look like, as well as a list of resources for the community that are for further development or for handling specific situations as they come up. So having access, on our website and in our materials to kind of emergency services that are geared towards things like sexual harassment or racism or any of a number of other kind of different avenues, rather than just putting 911 on the website, which was ineffective. And then on the operations side, we're really focused still on things that are going to support organizational rollout, mission statement, board selection committee for early 2021, and then beginning the bylaws drafting in preparation to file for nonprofit status. And then kind of day-to-day focus has been on the operations rollout. I think we will also look to seek out some specialized accounting support rather than just depend on software for that. That'll be, again, more important as we start to have a larger number of workshop instructors and have to handle things like W-9s and, just keeping track of all of that. But we have things and infrastructure set up for banking, donations, events, reporting, taxes, that type of stuff. So we're doing all the things that we need to do as an organization to, follow the law and also kind of be able to report our finances transparently to the community, which I think is really key, especially given what organizations have gone through over the past year. So to that end, here are our 2020 financial details. Finance can be really confusing, but it can also be made simple and understandable, which I've tried to do here. And at the end of the day, it's just like your own checkbook. There's some extra complexity when you run an organization and things like accounts receivable and accounts payable, but most of the time that's not that important. What really matters is, are you making money? Are you spending money? And are you making more than you're spending? And if not, do you have a good plan for what to do about that? And that's what you see right here. So we have our income, our expenses, and our current balance as of the end of the year. Where does all this come from? Well, income right now in 2020 was all donations. We had about $5,400 in general donations and about $1,500 in donations specifically toward our anti-racism fund. That is actually a really specific and important thing in that we have set up specific accounting funds within our nonprofit organization that allow for people to donate to specific purposes. So if somebody donates to our anti-racism fund, that money is earmarked and can only be used for anti-racism activities. And we're required to report that when we file, kind of the, governance statements and reports that we do each year as a nonprofit. So that allows people to have confidence in their money going to what they intended it to go to. And if they want to just generate and do a general donation to the organization, that's fine too. Technically, we also got 26 cents in interest. So congrats to us. And then expenses have been a mix of bank fees for donations. So sometimes when you donate money, you can cover the bank fee or the organization cover the bank fee. We'll have similar things for workshops on Eventbrite, for example. And then software fees, which really have just been two. Applos, which is our accounting software, and then Zoom, which we use for workshops, these meetings, and shows. And then training and development, which we spent, again, from that anti-racism fund. Donations that were made in response to our first training were used to purchase a second training with that organization, the Different Women Project down in the UK. And so it generates a nice kind of virtuous cycle where donations from one activity are used to fund the next one. You may kind of wonder, are there some things that weren't covered here? Things like the website, things like, hosting and stuff like that were purchased before we formed as an organization. So that's why you don't see them here. But, moving forward, those things would be kind of in the 2021 details in all likelihood when we have to renew our website hosting, for example. And that all leads to balance at the end of the year, 6288.24. Today, as of like 2 hours ago, at 6401.31, and that increase in money came from our first set of workshops. So when you start to see this month over month, you'll see additional lines here for money that we're taking in from workshops and money that we're paying out to workshop instructors, and we'll grow from there. Expecting workshops, eventual core curriculum classes, and merch to be kind of the big and new things that you'll see in this as we go throughout 2021. And then I'll pass it over to Brian for kind of our growth numbers overall.
Yeah, our numbers it's fun to look at these. As Barry and I said, we're talking privately. Any statistics that are based on website traffic are not entirely trustable or accurate, but we like them when they go up. So yes. Our Facebook followers, you've seen we've gained over 100 followers since November, and the November was at the end of the month, I believe. Yeah. And December was like in the middle of the month.
Yeah.
So the Decembers and Januaries are about a full month growth. So we're almost at 300 on Instagram. So if you know 3 friends on Instagram who don't follow us, tell them.
Please get us to 300.
Yeah.
Please.
YouTube views, we've had 5,110 views on our videos, and that includes allegedly 1,537 unique viewers. That could be, you know, a little less, it could be higher, we don't know. So, but that's a really good number. The unique viewers and the length of time people watch our YouTube videos have been very promising, showing that people are tuning in for long stretches of shows because Dionysus is on YouTube and they want to. That is 100%.
The main attraction, really.
YouTube subscriptions keep going up. We're at 178. I love seeing that. We'll just get a random few here or there, which is great because that will pop up in people's feed. It encourages them to watch more, and you know, just the engagement helps drive more video views. And then workshop scheduled. I think this is wrong because I did this before Kristen messaged me about Velvet. But I think we're probably like 16 or 17. I have a couple to put up on the Eventbrite tonight. So we're in the teens. We're in the teens for workshops scheduled, and having taken part in one and teched one, I can tell you that they've been very, very rewarding. And I hope if you're watching this and haven't signed up for one that you will.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, those are our January 2021 updates, and hopefully they're exciting, and hopefully you're enjoying watching them sometime in January. Like if you're watching this in like June 2022, things have changed. Things have changed. Yeah. Why? I mean, thank you, but unnecessary. Please
Kristen,
redirect your YouTube elsewhere.
She may still be wearing that sweater because it's her comfy sweater.
A new comfy sweater.
Yes.
I know that's a question people are going to have, so I'll go ahead.
I was going to say that we did have one question in the chat, but you just answered it. So not really.
I will address a question and an answer that I kind of had from somebody else.
Oh, great.
People might be wondering why so many workshops, or why so many workshops that appear to be sort of similar. You know, we have a couple that are similar sort of subject matter. And so my sort of vision for the workshops, we wanted to reflect the general like sort of creative outlook we have for Highwire. You know, we don't have like one specific sort of like improv like philosophy. And so I wanted that to be reflected in the workshops. So meaning I don't think that there's any, you know, one point of view that's like the definitive point of view on improv. I don't think that there's one method or skill that you can learn that's going to make you like the best improviser you can be. I think that, you know, improv, and if you're watching this, you've probably heard me say this before, but I do believe that the pursuit of improv is a lifelong pursuit. I think you should always be learning. You should always be training when possible. And that I wanted a wide variety of points of view. So we have a couple that are character based, but they're from two very different people, very different instructors, very different points of view, and very different approaches to character and improv. And so, you know, that's kind of where we're at. We want to reflect like, you know, any sort of little facet of improv that we can get. I want to do a workshop on, and I'll say again to anyone watching this, if you have an idea for a workshop, like email me, pitch it. I can help you develop it. You know, I would love to see, you know, I have a couple that are in the works that are just really like just off the wall ideas that I'm really excited about. So if you have a little idea of something, you're like, I've always thought this could apply to improv. You know, let's talk about it and see what we can do with it.
To echo some of that, I teched Tavish's drama workshop, and Kim Alou has her drama workshop coming up. I've learned from Kim. I've been in her classes and she's coached, and that one still has some auditor seats, so you can be an observer and then take part in the Q&A at the end. So that's free. So the actual participants is sold out, but you can watch it, learn from her, and then ask questions. But having watched Tavish's and having learned from Kim, they're teaching a similar skill, and they'll teach it in very different ways. They'll give you different kinds of tools, and that's really, really important. You know, Tavish we're all friends with Tavish. You give them a very actory theater kind of side. Kim while she has a theater background, will probably come from more of an improv scene work side. And if you are able to take those two things and meld them into the best way you can use the skill, I think that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Because
We also will be
there's not one way.
Yeah, there's not one way. That's the crux of what I was trying to say, I think.
Yeah.
And also understanding that, you know, people learn different ways. And, you know, you could hear something from somebody, you're like, that doesn't quite hit. And then you hear it from somebody else, you're like, oh, that makes total sense. I totally get it now. So that's basically what we're trying to do with the workshops, and what we will be doing with the education curriculum that we'll have soon.
Soon.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks everyone watching this. And as always, if you have any questions, you can always ask one of us or email highwireimprov@gmail.com. Or, you know, I guess you could show up to a show and put the question in YouTube, but it would be better if you emailed us or talked to one of us. And come to these second Tuesday of the month. Awesome. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.